Burger! Today's review is about CMF Headphone Pro. I know I'm late to the party now, but you know what? I'm not here to tell you about its replaceable ear cushions or how good it looks. As an audio nerd and a musician myself, I'm only going to tell you about the most crucial aspects for these headphones: sound quality, ANC, and everyday usability. After months of use, my verdict is a bit complicated. I'd say it's one of the best choices in this price range, but that means you might have to make some compromises. Why is that? Grab a drink, buckle up, let's dive in. It's a comprehensive review so that you can see the difference clearly. Today we're comparing the Headphone Pro against the Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth and Sony 720N. As someone who used the XM4 for nearly 4 years, I once loved its sound signature and assumed all Sony products were equally great. Well, but clearly, unless you are willing to blindly trust a brand like Sony, you will eventually realize that at least 20% of what you pay for Sony products is essentially a brand premium, a tips for the logo. Today's Sony product, including the XM6, simply don't offer the value for money. I mention this it's because ultimately, I found Headphone Pro sounds to be very Sony-like. But is it a better version of Sony? The sound of Headphone Pro still carries the classic elements of the CMF series at first listen. Their bass has a very high sound pressure level. The differences between this and loudness is that it's not something you can subjectively hear. It's more like the continuous airflow, constantly impacting your ear canal. While its low frequencies often have a strong presence, it's actually quite difficult to hear the details in the low end. This, I believe, is the core reason behind the Headphone Pro's slider mechanism. With the slider, you can enabling repeat adjustments until you find your sweet spot. Moreover, and I haven't seen any reviewers on YouTube mention that this slider actually switches functions. You can change it from the bass tuning to the treble tuning, with an app, of course. Thus, I disagree with Linus' conclusion. I find this feature generally useful. At the very least, CMF clearly intended to make it a practical, functional element. Overall, I wouldn't call the Headphone Pro sounds mind-blowing, but within its price range, it falls into competent category. CMF has always handled mid-range vocals quite well, which is a plus. The main issue still lies in the high frequencies, where the reproduction isn't particularly clean, resulting in a somewhat muddy listening experience. In terms of listening experience, I find the Sony 720N superior. Sony's bass quantity isn't low either. Its frequency response even appears to extend further than the Headphone Pros. However, Sony's bass delivers an sensation, heavy yet clear. The Headphone Pro, on the other hand, feels more like the poof, like highly dynamic but boomy and indistinct and uncomfortable to the ear. On the other hand, examining the 720N's high frequencies reveals a very strong gain from the 4 kHz to the 12 kHz, delivering the excellent detail and pleasant high-frequency listening experience. The frequency response curve doesn't fully capture the listening experience, of course, especially regarding the attention-grabbing qualities. The 720N delivers a relatively balanced performance across all 3 frequency bands. This means I can easily immerse myself in the music without suddenly feeling the bass is too heavy or too light. For genres like pop or rock, the 720N is quite suitable. Comparing to the Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth presents a different scenario. The 450 Bluetooth leans towards a warmer sound with a rich, atmospheric feel. Its bass is thick and full, the mid-range is quite prominent, and while the treble isn't particularly sharp, it extends naturally. The overall listening experience feels somewhat moist. Though resolution at this price point is limited, I'd still say the sound quality is excellent. While examining the bass section reveals, It has the least quantity of the low frequencies, yet consequently offers the highest clarity for the bass instruments among the three headphones. Looking at the treble section, from around the 50 kHz, it almost feels like the direct frequency cards. Well, I wouldn't claim that it's suited for every Bluetooth headphones, but it's undeniably a solution. Subtraction. It means you sacrifice the details beyond the driver's resolution limits, retaining only what you're most confident in. You see, most listeners once perceive those ambiguous high-frequency overtones above 50 kHz. I really believe this is precisely what CMF and Nothing should learn from. The Headphone Pro's awkward position lies in its inability to deliver either a warm, long-listening friendly tuning or complete detailed reproduction, nor does it strike a balanced compromise like the 450 Bluetooth. So unless you are aiming to be a beat successor, CMF, I strongly suggest you to seriously rethink your tuning approach. I've placed a sample section at the end of this video. You can skip it directly if you want. The ANC is where the Headphone Pros truly shine. Its noise cancellation is essentially on par with the XM4, with a noticeable edge in the wind noise resistance. While the 720N does offer ANC, its similar ear cups means its effectiveness is only about 60% of the Headphone Pros. The Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth, on the other hand, relies almost entirely on physical isolation, with its ANC contributing a mere 10% at best. In transparency mode, the Headphone Pro maintains its lead. While the 450 Bluetooth remains the weakest performer, it's quite hilarious is that switching between the transparency and ANC reveals that its ANC algorithm seems to serve no purpose beyond creating the unexplained ear pressure. Transparency mode simply feels like the ANC turns off. The 720N allows adjusting transparency levels 0 to 20, but always have noticeable background noise. By comparison, the Headphone Pro's transparency mode sounds remarkably natural. Next up is the call quality testing. We will still conduct both the street test and the cycling test.
So this is CMF Headphone Pro call quality test. This is CMF Headphone Pro call quality test. How does it sound like? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
This is Sony 720N for quality test. How does it sound like? Is it good? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. So this is Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth call quality test. This is Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth call quality test. How does it sound like? Is it good? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
This is CMF Headphone Pro's call quality test. This is CMF Headphone Pro call quality test. How does it sound like? Is it clear? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
This is the call quality of the Sony WH720N. How does it sound like? Is it good? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. And this is call quality of the Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth. This is call quality of the Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth. How does it sound like? Is it good? Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. And you also notice that Sennheiser, when you're calling, the Sennheiser 450 Bluetooth is also opening the transparency mode. Means you can hear yourself talking while you're on the phone. And this is it.
And finally, let's discuss my impression of using these full amount. Overall, I would say the Headphone Pro delivers a truly complete experience. Its design is exceptionally sleek. In my view, Nothing is now the only brand truly mastering the industrial minimalist aesthetics. I once gave this title to Sony, but the XM6 really disappoints me, and I still pissed off till today. And there's more. The Headphone Pro isn't just visually pleasing, it's incredibly comfortable to wear with a solid stability. If it's for the gym workouts, I definitely choose the Headphone Pro, because its earpad material is less prone to sweat building up than the other two. And as every YouTuber repeatedly mentioned, swapping out the earpads is incredibly easy. Well, some of you guys might dismiss this as a treble, but believe it or not, anyone who used a pair of headphones for 3 to 4 years will absolutely seek ways to refresh. Battery life is roughly double than the 720Ns and triple that of the 450 Bluetooth. Its fast charging capability keeps pace with modern standards. After months of use, I've only charged it twice. My only wish is that it could switch from the automatically tuning of the ANC to simply shutting down the device. This change might further extend the perceived battery life. All three models features physical buttons, but from my experience, the Headphone Pro button layouts are exceptionally intuitive and user-friendly. I particularly appreciate the volume wheels functional. It handles all music playback function beyond just volume. You just simply push the wheel to the left, right, or press it down. The 720N's buttons are straightforward but lack any design flair, while the 450 Bluetooth buttons are downright confusing, earning the most accidental pressing. Lastly, the Headphone Pro does have an odd issue. It supports 3.5mm wide connections, but only in the power down mode, which means it still uses battery to wired connection, and during that time, any features can be used. The reason I consider this headphone a standout purchase in its price range is that, besides its sound quality not being exceptional, it still delivers an outstanding overall experience. Its design and functional experience feels thoroughly modern. This is a level of the electronics experience you should expect in the 2025. At this price, most alternative might offer 20% better sound quality, but in area like ANC, few can match it. Therefore, unless you can get outerwear for $99, I think choosing the Headphone Pro is a good choice. Alright, that's for today's video. And if you're debating whether to buy new headphones, I have few words to say. Think it through and think all you want. But once you buy them, stop checking the reviews about their pros and cons. Trust yourself. They are yours now. Like or not, they will stay with you for quite some time in your life. Leaving them to be rolled so hard is what reviewers like me to do. So don't be stressful. What matters most is that you will love this product and use it to listen music that you like. Okay, this is Mega Review. See you next time.
「やけに喉が渇いて」「ガラガラ家を出た」「夕方の風に紛れた」「昼間のコンクリートの熱」「スーツと制服のフレッシュマン」「コンビニの前は溢れ」「かしまし麗しい新しい季節が」「やけに喉が渇いて」「しょうがないのは多分」今夜が満月だからかも Grapefruit 満たされるほどに夢果実じゃないなら悪くないちゃんと暇乾いてるって欲しいんだってわかる翼にも風にもなる生ぬるい風に紛れたタイヤのこすれ焦げた匂い